If we don't have rules, then how can we break them?
And if we don't have mistakes, then how did we make them?
Comic zines are more often reflective of the author, which means that they're more often about true stories. Portland has also given me spaces like the Independent Publishing Resource Center or the Zine Symposium, where I actually see other people's work that inspires me, or actually have access to different mediums and tools that I wouldn't normally have. The IPRC is the Independent Publishing Resource Center, and it is located above Reading Frenzy, the zine store in downtown Portland. It started because people will go into Reading Frenzy all the time and be like, hey, these zines are cool, how do I make a zine? And you can use the tools that they have there to make your own work.
There's a pretty large community for people who put out their own zines, their own writing, their own multimedia type stuff like that.
And there's workshops on how to use the things and workshops on how to do things or how to distribute your work. And without the IPRC, I don't feel like my zine would be quite the same at all. Comic book stores are a good place to get comics. I think that comic book stores are good because I think that mainstream comics are a good, gateway drug.
Here in town, you got Excalibur. He's got a great selection of comics. He really knows from good comics.
You walk in and it's clean and organized, and there's people that are going to help you find what you want.
They study it. They're fans and they are students of comics, and so they know what's good, and they stock everything. The good stuff.
I've always loved paper. The name of the store is actually Excalibur Books and Comics, and I've always had a love of comics. That's what I cut my teeth in learning to read. Probably the easiest part and the part that gives me just the most pleasure is just seeing good reads put together with people who love the medium. We're very supportive to the local publishers, whether that be Top Shelf Productions, Dark Horse. I'm happy to see this town creating good products. I've been doing this long enough now that it's really neat that I've seen little kids who are coming into the store now are all grown up and are beginning to have kids of their own.
The city will continue to be home to a lot of people, but if they leave, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be any less of a good city to live in. It just means that on Wednesday afternoons, you're not going to run into David Hahn and Brian Bendis at the comic book store, which would be a shame.
I still am astonished that there aren't other towns that have as many local comic publishers as we have here. I'm also very proud that there is an independent comic scene of people that will get out and do something.
Most of the people who are involved in comics are really, it's just a great bunch of people. I love it.
I think there'll always be a creative city, and there'll always be plenty of things to do for storytellers here.
But I do think that there's amazing supportive networks. I mean, I got somebody to publish my book here. Without even trying, somebody, noticed, said, I see what you're doing and I notice it. And that couldn't necessarily happen anywhere else.